What is going on, RotoGrinders? Dean here. That's Dean 78904 if you want to talk the DFS streets. Of course, this is Card Stock After Lock. RotoGrinders, of course, you specialize in DFS. Tonight, we're talking about, well, some weeks we talk cards, and some weeks we talk moments. We talked Top Shots. This is a Top Shots week. Usual suspects are with us, Will and Tambo, but we have a very special guest with us. You know him from such things as being the co-founder of Fantasy Labs, Lucky Trader, Club Top Shots, and whoever did the scheduling for this on April 20th of all days, and almost in his time zone, very, very close, but an hour and 15 minutes late, give or take. It's Peter Jennings, CSU Ram. What's going on, dude?
Yeah, happy holidays, guys, and yeah, it's been a good day, and excited to talk some shop with you guys. It's been a fascinating ride to start the year, and the world's changing fast, but it's fun, and obviously there's a huge crossover, which I think is interesting. We've talked a lot about is just how the DFS community kind of sparked a lot of the growth with Top Shot and some of the NFTs. So fun times, and yeah, eager to chat with you guys.
Yeah, let's have that conversation. Want to say hello to Will? Will, you're the one that did the schedule, I assume. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, man. Honestly, we tried to get Pete probably a little over a month ago. And trust me, guys, this isn't any shade. Pete's just got it going on. I think he had a ski trip at the time. And then, of course, you know, we've got a little baby Pete in the world now, which I know all about. I have 3 girls, Pete, if you didn't know. So
love it, dude.
Tons of that. Yeah, man, for sure. It's been a ton of fun. So one of them just had her ballet recital 2 weeks ago. And they did all kind of stuff like in one. Lion King, Robin Hood. It was like all this stuff. And you know, when you're a kid, you think you want a boy, but man, then you have a girl and you're like, oh, and I ended up with 2 more. So it's a ton of fun. So welcome, man. So glad we could get you on. I know Pete's been a good friend of RotoGrinders for a good long time. So once again, man, thanks for coming on with us. It should be a real good show.
Yeah, I'm stoked, and it's fun to be on with Tyler too. And yeah, girl dad life is the best.
Yeah.
So what about Tambo? What's up, Tambo? How are things in your world?
Things are good. Things are very good. I'm living the high life, as they might say, on a 420 holiday. I'm out in the mountains in BC. So I'm on a ski hill, but I'm not skiing, and certainly living the dad life as well. Family time, #girldad. And little known fact, Pete, actually, I know your daughter's name is Gracie. My daughter's name is Graceley, like Kelsey, but Graceley. So very close.
Oh, I like that.
There. We've got some similarities. So my wife came up with that one. So I'll shout out to her, but excited to be on here with you, man. Thanks for joining us. I bailed on all PGA content that is Zurich Classic just to get in on the Top Shot talk. So I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Take us back to the beginning, Pete, because yeah, Top Shots, it's one of those things they say, once you learn about it, once your friend tells you about it, it's already too late. Once I found out about it, it was probably too late. And that was way months ago, and people are still kind of learning about it. What was your entry point? When did you learn about it? Who told you? I imagine like a Bales, a Levitan, I'm not really sure, but how did you first become aware of Top Shots, and were you in right away?
Yeah, Bales and I actually kind of heard about it from similar people, and when we first started buying things, it was from the same call. Jeremy Levine really helped out a lot, just educating us on Top Shot, and yeah, we went on that Ja Morant moment that Bales ended up writing about. That I think was a huge driver for people getting interested in Top Shot, and yeah, that was in early January. So yeah, 2021 has been a big year learning about NFTs and kind of the future of what maybe the metaverse is going to look like and all these different things that are going on in the space. But yeah, Top Shot was the easiest thing to kind of dive into given the history with sports. And, you know, I'm a big crypto advocate and was really intrigued by kind of the whole blockchain element. So yeah, it's crazy now. Dapper Labs is raising at crazy valuations and the business is booming. The market's taking a little bit of a dive here, but I do think it's a net good thing, given that they're working on kind of the infrastructure of the site and hopefully we'll see less scale challenges going forward.
Was that a conversation with the wife, by the way? How did you explain to her that you're making an investment in this moment, the John Morant? And was she like hesitant? Was she like, whatever you want to do, have at it? How did that go?
Yeah, she was, I mean, I don't know. She trusts me, but she was like, what the heck is this? Everyone kind of has the same response when they first find out about Top Shots. And even these crypto punks, I mean, the crypto punks is a whole other thing. Most people get really confused by the crypto punks, and I've spent quite a bit more money on individual crypto punks than I guess I bought a LeBron Cosmic for 80K, and I've been on some pieces, some 6-figure pieces, but yeah, the punks in particular are quite expensive, but we'll see. I think it's early days, and I like the kind of risk reward that I see in some of these spots. The asymmetry of the investment, I think, is really good, especially at this stage of my life.
Jump on here, Will.
Well, listen, man. First of all, on a side note, the real Twitter channel to follow is Amber Jennings, not Pete Jennings. Secret hot or cold take, however you want to take it. But
that's consensus. Consensus. Ashley's way better at Twitter than I am, and I'm not good, but Ashley's amazing, and she's genuinely funny.
Yeah, for sure. And then look, Pete just gently slid in that I got his wife's name wrong, like right off the rip. He was like, "Yeah, Ashley, you know," and I called her Amber. Sorry, Ashley, that's my bad. I do know your name. Just jump it up there a bit. Anyway, I'm still excited about Top Shots. I mean, I got in probably, let's say, a lot later than I should have. Let's go with that. At least for some of the higher end moments. I did have a couple of collectors that were trying to nudge me a lot earlier than I got in. They were like, "Hey man, you really need to get in on this Top Shot deal." And that was probably back in December. And of course I was like, okay, well, I'll look at it. And at the time, I've got all this cardboard stuff going on, and I'm trying to get some National Treasures pieces. And so, I had a lot of my portfolio going into that side and trying to get some stuff graded that I need to get graded. And then lo and behold, in January, we've got this big explosion, and I knew it. I said, yeah, I'm already behind the 8 ball, but I might as well go ahead and hop in. And, I'm one of the unfortunate people that every time there's a drop, I don't get a pack. I have gotten in on all the pre-order packs. Anyway, I got every pre-order. Can't get in on the rare, can't get in on the hollow. I mean, it's just been a rough ride trying to get packs, but I still think that's the beautiful part about Top Shot. Like everybody that thinks, Top Shot is just kind of, I guess maybe the bubbles burst. Well, maybe the bubble where every patch plus EV is burst. But when I see a pack drop and there's 2,000 packs and there's still 200,000 plus people in line, I think the value of the product, speaks for itself in that regard. The scarcity, I think, is actually helping Top Shot, at least initially. Over the long term, I do think there's going to be value in us being able to just go into the marketplace and buy a pack. But right now, I do think the scarcity helps, especially with them not really marketing the product. Having limited availability in itself is its own marketing, because everybody goes to Twitter and it's like, I'm 200,000. I'm not done. I won't get one today. This person's like, oh, I'm number 5. I'm going to get one. And it's ridiculously free marketing for a product that has scarcity of packs right now. So I'm with you, Pete. I think long term is going to be fantastic. I am really excited for the off season because I'm going to do a whole lot of buying then. When I think the prices will take a little bit, and that's no different than me buying cardboard, but that's where I am. Last thing before we hop over to Tambo, this show is sponsored by SportsCardInvestor.com. Please get over to SportsCard Investor, use the Market Movers tool, promo code Grinders. That's going to get you 20% off your first payment. I always recommend go ahead and pay for it for the year. Why is that? You get 20% off for the whole year instead of just the month. We have, a few guys like Dean that think you can scam the system and do 20% for the month, try it out, and then do 20% for the year. Doesn't quite work like that. Got to get 20% right off the top. Always advocate the year. It's going to give you real-time analysis on which cardboard products you need to be buying right now. We did a fantastic show last week on some select cardboard that I thought just, the tool blew us out of the water. So once again, sportscardinvestor.com, promo code Grinders, 20% off that first payment. Dean, back over to you for the hosting, my friend.
Yeah, I just, in the meantime, I pulled up Ashley's Twitter feed and she was trolling Ram. This is January 14th. Has to explain to me what he spent $10K on yesterday, other than it's a moment. you remember what you bought on January 14th by chance? And what is that moment now? Was that the job?
That was a James Harden moment that is definitely worth a lot more now. But I spun that into, I quickly realized LeBron was kind of where we wanted to invest a little bit more capital. And yeah, so that was spun into LeBron. But like Will, I first heard about Top Shot in the summer of 2020 and thought it was interesting, but didn't dive in and certainly have regrets.
Yeah, but we talked pre-show about packs. What are your thoughts on packs? I'm currently hoarding one, the $9.99, the hollow pack, the drop 2, and they're trying to get me to open it up. And I tried to the other day, and we had technical issues, and who knows? But are we going to be able to like buy and sell packs from other people, or are people hoarding them currently right now, or is that sort of up in the air? We don't know. What are your thoughts on packs?
Yeah, so I have some strong thoughts on packs. I think, initially we've seen this wave where they've just been wildly plus EV, which is fun, for getting people's attention and driving engagement. But long term, I think they should be pretty neutral EV. I think that, the marketplace is really important. And of course, it's not sustainable for the packs to be like wildly plus EV for forever. That will definitely change over time. But my view is they should be neutral EV. There should be big premiums on certain moments and different things to collect. And I think they can be really successful if they're neutral EV as long as there's like a big gambling's not. It's a risk reward type thing. There should be you should be able to pull something that can make the pack worth 1,000x. But a lot of the packs that you pull are probably going to be slightly negative EV or have a negative value. So to me, I think long term, that's a much more sustainable path. And I hope the appreciation's more kind of in the broad marketplace long term, just because I think that's more sustainable. And then obviously being strategic about what you're collecting.
Tambo.
I'm with Pete there. I think if you guys haven't seen, fellow club Top Shot MBL posted a nice little thread the other day on the packs. That was a really strong thread. A lot of people saw it already probably, but if you haven't, definitely go check it out. It really explains it in a better way and what we think it should probably be, at least what I think it should be like as far as, the overall thoughts. I think, Pete mentioned a couple things, but just a few that stand out to me is, the marketplace might have leveled out a little bit, but some people are still up. Don't forget that. Like some people got these moments for $50 that are now $480. Yes, they're not 2,000 anymore, but they're still $480. Had a good show with Will a couple of weeks ago talking about too. There's also the collector's aspect of it. A lot of people want the instant gratitude and are not thinking about the long term. Like, what about just collecting? And that's where I think it's so funny when some of the stuff comes up around challenges, which I know we're going to segue to, where it's like, oh, this challenge is break even. This challenge sucks. Like, well, there's the serial number lottery. There's the long term of it. There's what if you want those moments that go into it, whether they're rising stars, all-star game, whatever they might be. There's other factors that can go in it. And then just the other thing was around, the all-star game, for example, we're going to have that come up again in the playoffs. There's going to be more playoffs moments hit. There's going to be, the marketplace is going to change, but we're missing a lot of things. There's the utility factor, hard court. We're still waiting on that. There's marketing dollars. Some forget. Dan Bach brings it up all the time. DraftKings and FanDuel spent hundreds of millions of dollars on marketing, and we haven't seen any of that yet in Top Shot. So if you feel like you're down right now, just hang on. It's going to come around. But again, is that all you're in it for? Is the investment and the upside? Because I still like some certain moments. I don't know if you guys have moments you have as favorites, but does anybody know the Steph Curry All-Star Game moment is a rare moment? It's out of 2021. He literally catches an assist from Luka. He makes the three with a mock of LeBron and then goes back and daps up LeBron, which is also a cool moment, the no-look three-pointer. So to me, there's little things like that sometimes I don't care that I'm down on that moment as of right now. I want that moment in my collection. So that's one that I'm hanging on to. So there is the collector aspect to it as well as the investment side. Everyone talks the investment side and I understand why, but like you said, there's still a lot to come that I think is going to lead into that being worth a lot more in the long term.
How much does that matter, Pete? How cool the moment may or may not be. Jeez, I could not even stick that out. How does that matter to you? Because it matters to Tambo and it matters to some people, like the LeBron three with Dennis Schroeder in his ear, betting him $100 if he would or would not make a three. That was an awesome moment. And also the other players on the court. Are we dissecting this too much, or do you think that actually matters to a certain number of people or enough people to move the needle?
I think it matters. I think that's going to continue to appreciate over time. I think people are going to get really into it. Showing those off in the metaverse would be really cool too. And even infinite objects, having what seems like more of a traditional card with the video. I think the great highlights are awesome. That's like my favorite moment personally is the Kobe tribute dunk that LeBron did. I bought the number 8 for that, which for Kobe. But yeah, I think a couple of things that are really important. I'm extremely bullish right now relative to even where I was a couple of months ago, where I was obviously excited, but we were in kind of the peak of the mania. And now we're seeing this correction, which I think is healthy, given that Dapper and the team need to scale. They need to hire a lot of people, which they are, and get the website in a good place. Obviously, there's all this opportunity with other sports and these different things too, which is great. And I think the biggest reason to be bullish is the public financing that we're seeing. It's public, they raised a $2.6 billion valuation. Now there's recent news that they're raising at $7.5 billion. That hasn't been confirmed by anyone at Dapper, but it was leaked. That indicates that maybe they got some big deals, or there'd be a reason why they're raising more money. So I'm optimistic about that. I think there's a ton of things they can do with utility. Obviously, the NBA, the NPA are really big deals. They have the NFL Players Association as well, UFC. There's so many things I think they can do with utility. And I think right now is a much better time to kind of be looking for value and looking for the long term versus just getting caught up in the mania. So I think it's a really interesting time, and I'm excited to see the utility element too. I'd love to see more stuff tied in with the leagues themselves. I'd love to be able to go to a Nuggets game and, maybe you've got all the starters, or if you have a legendary moment of a Nuggets player, you get to sit in the VIP section. Like, there's a million directions that they can go, and I think it's going to be really interesting. And long term too, I do think Dapper Labs with Top Shot can truly be like a sports stock market, which is an idea I've tried to help come to fruition many times, and seen a ton of people try to do it and different pitches all the time. But someone's going to do it. I think Dapper has a real chance given the resources that they have.
There was a player, who was the player that kind of said, like, listen, if you go ahead and buy my moment, you can come to my game and like sit courtside with like 4 other dudes or something.
Scary Terry. That's a Hornet, by the way.
Yeah, like that. That's that kind of thing is just, and there's really, you can't put a price on that, right? Like that you're buying a.
Well, you can.
Well, I mean, you can. But you know what I mean? Like that's a specialty item that, and it's also cool. Like they got the players out there marketing too. Like Ross is into it. Like there's a whole bunch of players that are way into it. They think it's cool, and I think that's important as far as marketing. But I'll throw this out there, everybody. Are we going to see a Top Shot commercial during the NBA playoffs? Is that something that potentially could be in the works?
I don't think it's coming this year. I think before next season, though, I think we'll see a good marketing run. That's just my personal opinion. I don't think they have a reason to market it right now. I mean, it's pretty much a worldwide product. Like it's not just stuck in my little South Carolina bubble or Pete's Colorado bubble, Tambo's Canada bubble. Like it's everywhere pretty much right now. Or it's they've got their hands in a lot of different places. So I don't think we'll see a massive marketing run. I could be wrong, but I think it comes like right before next season. That's my read on it.
Anybody else?
But they spend for the playoffs, but I don't know exactly what that means. I think they're busting and trying to scale the team and the support and just everything else to be ready for the playoffs, which was a big run up initially last year. And that's where legacies are made. And also one thing, we haven't talked extensively about is that, I think sports content's arguably the most valuable content out there, and the most valuable part of sports is the highlights. So they definitely nailed something, and it's cool to see all the engagement from the league and the players. And obviously there's a ton of us in the DFS industry that are obsessed with it as well.
Well, let me squeeze a question in here, and this is from our good friend Dan Bob, and we did kind of touch on it, but I did see the article or the leak about the new valuation and maybe them raising some more money. And here's Dan's question: thoughts on the NFL NFT launch, and how bananas is that going to be? Now, and Pete, I've got my feelings on that as well. That's where I think the marketing is going to come in. I think it probably will come for NFL, because that's where everybody markets. DraftKings did it, FanDuel did it. They all did it for NFL season, one of the biggest, sports in our country. So I'll just kind of kick that one over to you. Once again, thoughts on the NFL launch. How bananas do you think that's going to be?
I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, I think there's incredible highlights in the NFL, and it's obviously something the NFL is thinking long and hard about. They've seen all the success that Top Shot and the NBA have had. So I think it's going to be awesome. I think all these sports will ultimately be live, and I think we're going to just see more and more collectibles become digital. And I think long term, hopefully there's a huge tie-in from a utility perspective that you get for participating in these markets, whether it be NBA League Pass, as you got NFL Sunday Ticket. I could see integrations with Red Zone. I mean, there's a million directions all this can go, and I think that is a really exciting thing for the future of sports.
Funny thing. Let me squeeze this in there. Funny thing, LG brought this up like, I don't know, probably in January. Listen, this is what he told us. I think it's pretty funny. If they get a run it back edition, Series 1 NFL, he says he wants the butt fumble from Sanchez. That's his moment that he wants if it comes out. Just want to plug that out there, LG, if you're watching.
What do you want? You get a selection. You can get whatever you want. What do you select?
You talking to me?
Anybody.
Well, Tambo, kick it over to you. What's your NFL moment? If you could only get one.
As a Ravens fan in our most recent Super Bowl, I want to see the pass get dropped in the end zone from Colin Kaepernick at the very end because my heart was beating. we were running that game until the lights went out at halftime, and all of a sudden all this stuff started happening. And so to see that go out at the end, that was perfect for me to finally catch a ring that I was a part of as a fan.
That's more of a low light. That's not a highlight. It's a highlight for you.
Well, the butt fumble's not a highlight.
Like I said,
it is.
Moment matters.
Come on,
I think Mark Sanchez's best highlight was him eating the hot dog on the sidelines. Yes. Maybe that might be his best one.
Randy Moss shooting the moon. How about that one? Is that a good one?
Yeah, Randy Moss has some good ones. Of course, the Odell Beckham catch is one of the most iconic highlights. I would probably take John Elway helicoptering into the end zone in the Super Bowl. Big Broncos fan, big Elway fan. There's a ton of them, and it's just going to be cooler and cooler. And I think, you'll see the celebrations in there. And I'm excited. I think the NFL is going to be great. And, I think it's a really, really cool trend to just see more digital collectibles, especially if they can tie the utility to this stuff long term.
Topps came out today, NFL on layaway. Does Top Shot take a hit, Pete? You think it takes a hit, because it's not going to get all the attention exclusively, or they can all survive and all thrive independent of each other?
Yeah, I think it's a big positive sign for Top Shot. I think the traditional card companies are going to have a challenge kind of catching up. I mean, it's the highest form of flattery is emulation, and that's what they're doing. So. Yeah, you guys are more in the physical card game. I'm still bullish on really vintage physical cards, but the new stuff, I'm not too bullish on new physical cards relative to the digital moments. But we'll see. I mean, I could be totally wrong on that too.
Is there a reason for that, or just you just think that the NFTs are the way of the future and that's that?
Well, I think there's going to be ups and downs, and there's going to be things I have to figure out. But I do believe long term, with the new stuff coming out, athletes going forward, there's just so many advantages that digital collectibles have over the physical pieces of cardboard. And so I think you'll want to own the Honus Wagners, you'll want to own the LeBron James rookie card, you'll want to own Kobe rookie cards when there wasn't an alternative. But my hunch is like a Zion or John Morant, like Cosmic, or one of their rookie cards from Top Shot will be more valuable than their cardboard counterpart. So going forward, I think, NFTs are in a little bit better place, but we'll see. There's definitely some concerns, and there's going to be pain at times. So we'll see how it transpires.
I will say this, Pete. If by chance you get your hands on the Zion logo man signed edition from National Treasures, I'd say that's probably going to be comparable to any NFT currently. Let me say currently. We did see the Lucas sell for like $4 million.
Yeah.
So I think some of the higher end stuff, and I definitely think the higher end stuff, if you get your hands on that, it's gold because of just the limited availability. Like some of these, it's only one. If you have it, you can pretty much write your price. And that's how I feel about a lot of the rare stuff on like Cosmic and Hollow. When you get those rare pieces, eventually they're going to skyrocket. I mean, we've already seen the prices continue to surge, and I think it's only going to get better as time goes on. So I'm really bullish on Top Shot as well.
Yeah. As far as Top Shot, go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we want to touch on challenges and just kind of get your thoughts as far as challenges and how appealing they may or may not be going forward as the product evolves. Have you been partaking in many of the challenges? Then, like we talked about earlier, sometimes once the challenge ends, those cool cats just plummet. And if you don't get the number one Jokic or whatever, and I'm sure as a Denver guy, I imagine you did your best I'm sure you made it happen. You got yourself a Jokic Cool Cat. Yes.
I actually don't have a Jokic Cool Cat. I've been kind of bearish on the Cool Cat series in general. I was incorrect about it initially, but I'm a big Series 1 guy. I think I've kind of made. I have a Jokic Cosmic, but I'm kind of banking on Series 1 having more long-term value on a relative basis. I still think it's underpriced, so I'm sticking to that. But yeah, challenges. I think. It's a cool twist, and I think it's an interesting way to incentivize people. I think there's a variety of ways they might be able to innovate on that would make it kind of a more, because right now basically what happens is the moments go up in price and then they plummet after the challenge is complete. And I think there's probably some creative ways where there's not just like a huge spike and then an immediate drop. So I'll be curious to see how that stuff goes moving forward. But I do like the gamification within Top Shot. I think they need to be careful about that. The video game is a polarizing topic, and I'm not as high in the video game, but I do think tying utility to the leagues and some of the gamification stuff can be really good for the platform.
The creative ways you're talking about, potentially a master challenge, maybe. I know there's been rumors about that.
Yeah, I like master challenges. I love the idea of owning full sets. I love the idea of owning like the starting 5 for a team. And I think they should have incentives that are more long-term versus just, hey, collect all these moments, then you get this new moment, and then you're done. I think there should be incentive for more long-term holding and collecting it. But we'll see how they handle that. And again, my biggest thing is tie some of this stuff to experiences with the leagues themselves.
Yeah, it's a smart idea for sure. Hey, I'm gonna let them ask you some more questions as far as Top Shot oriented. But since we have you, we mentioned his name a couple of times. Who is the MVP of the league this year?
Oh, it better be Jokic. Better be Jokic. I mean, that's what I would vote for. He's got to be a big favorite in the betting markets, right?
I'm pretty sure he is. Like the Curry's getting some rumblings of late too, especially with all the threes he keeps making of late. But Embiid missed a chunk of time, and I'm pretty sure he's like at least like a 2-1 favorite at this point. But yeah, I was just curious. And Jamal Murray, is that it? I thought it was going to be this might be your year, but it's not happening, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. It went from being live to win the championship, maybe 15-20%, especially with the AG trade, to basically drawing dead. Not basically. I think the Nuggets can't really win the championship now without Jamal Murray. And yeah, I've seen Jokic like -280, -300 to be MVP. And
got him at -400 right now. That's at DraftKings.
Is he? Wow.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Big favorite.
Yeah, I see him -350, and I see this -280 from FanDuel must be stale. It's a little stale.
Yeah,
this is so much fun to watch.
Yeah,
Embiid's right behind at +325. If anybody thinks they're gonna really get going, but yeah, Jokic is for sure the favorite right now.
I'm gonna hop in real quick. I got a couple questions for Pete here. The first one's a fast one. Team MGLE or Meagle?
MGLE.
Same. Okay, I like that call against the Meagle takes. And then just going back to your Series 1 comment, I want to ask you right quick because I struggle with this daily using someone like LeBron. Certainly bullish, like you said, on Series 1 in general, but you got a LeBron dunk out of 3,400 or whatever it is with the Caruso toss there, and then you've got the LeBron no look 3, which is Series 2 out of 15K, but then you look at liquidity, moment mattering, all those sort of factors. How do you weigh that in? Does Series 1 just crush that no matter what long term? It's just not even going to be close, or does that moment being so unique where LeBron may never put up a no look 3 again in his career for the Lakers, et cetera, how do you weigh something like that out?
So in general, I'm going to be very biased towards Series 1, but I actually love that moment. I think that's one of the coolest moments on the platform, and I think that will have value over time. I think that'll continue to matter more and more. It didn't matter much at all for a long stretch of time, but yeah, long term, I'm really bullish on the moments mattering themselves. That's why I love the John Morant one. I mean, that was Morant's cosmic moment, but it was also like his best highlight from his rookie season. So some of the highlights are pretty marginal, like LaMelo's first highlight is like
so was terrible.
Yeah, so like I think that will matter over time. I love that LeBron moment, but yeah, I think if Dapper Labs is successful in pulling off their vision and fulfill this huge valuation, what you're going to want a piece of history, which is going to be Series 1, which has so much more scarcity, and it's the first series. Just think about all the other sports take off, all these things like what was the first series, it's going to go back to NBA Top Shot Series 1. So I think there's a ton of value, and I would go out of your way to try to find a way to get some exposure to Series 1 if you don't have it already.
Yeah. I like
Yeah. Ironically, speaking of moments, my favorite moment has LaMelo Ball in it, but it's not his moment. It's actually a Miles Bridges. And guess what? It's worth absolutely nothing. I think maybe $6, but it's the Airbnb LaMelo Ball to Miles Bridges behind the back on the windmill dunk.
Yeah.
And it's seriously probably one of the best plays from the Hornets this season, outside of maybe Miles Bridges dunking on Capella here recently. But I'd still go with the LaMelo Airbnb Miles Bridges dunk. It's out of $35K, but I think that goes back to what we've talked about in terms of the profitability of it, but also the collector side. I'm really big on that moment. In fact, I think when that moment happened, Tambo hit me up in Slack and said, Will's about to go broke on this Miles Bridges, which might be true. If it comes out, I will for sure buy that moment. That's one of the good ones we've had for sure. So, Dean, I'll let you close us out, man. Pete, thanks for joining us, man. It's been crazy fantastic having you on. We'll try to get over to Club Top Shot because I know you got to get over there.
Yeah, got to go over to Club Top Shot. It's awesome what you guys are doing, and it's just so fun to see all this grow. And the last point I'll make that you were kind of hinting at, I think the long-term way to have alpha on these platforms is to really think creatively and understand significance and play the long game. So that's where I see value. I think right now with the market depressed, I think Series 1's really interesting for some of your favorite players. And it's not sustainable for everyone to just 10x over and over and over and over and over again. It's not sustainable for middling players to be crazy expensive. Long term, the legends will be valuable, and buying smart serials or buying the right series, that stuff should be the alpha long term versus just buying whatever and 10xing. So that's obviously going away and never was sustainable, but there's still a lot of opportunity if you're grinding and focusing on the long term.
Just a general thought. I know we got to get out of here. You're up against the clock there, Pete. But you guys, I know virtually signing, the players can virtually sign their moment. Is there a possibility we can add audio, like announcer audio? Because you guys talk about the Hornets. The Hornets are like one of the most fun boosts in basketball. Some are really good. Is that something that's been considered? Is that something they might do? Because I feel like that could add, especially for the Hornets and LaMelo, they get really excited. Is that a thing, or am I making that up? Anybody?
I don't know, but if you would open packs, Dean, you would know that the Top Shot music is pretty crazy in itself. So
I'm aware
stop
of the
hoarding your
music.
packs, start listening to the Top Shot music. It's good, man.
Pete, the people, I'm sure they're aware, but let them know where can they find you. Thank you for joining us. Give them the heads up. They want to learn more about Top Shots. Where can they find you?
Yeah, on Twitter at CSUM88, and then still founder of Fantasy Labs, Action Network, and we're starting a new company called Lucky Trader, which is going to have a lot of analytics, tools, data, information for Top Shot and NFTs. Much appreciate your time. That was Peter Jennings. That was Tambo. That was Will. I was Dean. This was Cardstock After Lock. Thanks for watching. We're out of here. Holler.